Fallout is one of my favorite series of all times. I love the post-apocalyptic setting, I love the harsh environment and the dark humor, the sense that you have to survive in the wasteland. Kind of reminds me of The Walking Dead, which I love, or actually The Walking Dead reminds me of Fallout because Fallout 1 was released in 1997 by Interplay, so it's been a while. And yeah, Fallout 1 is my favorite in the series, even though most people consider it maybe to be Fallout New Vegas, which is also a great game. But the first one, it's something else. For me, it's a masterpiece. It was so good. And I didn't even play back in the day when it released, right? I played much recently in the last few years, I think, like the last 5 years or so. And it was an incredible experience, even though it's a very old game. So a lot of people might not like it, but I love it. I love the top-down style, CRPG. I love the kind of turn-based gameplay. So Fallout 1 was something else to me. And now we have the Fallout TV show on Amazon Prime. And I was so pumped, so excited about that because it sounds like people are finally understanding how to make game adaptations on television and on film. We had The Last of Us, which was also a great show. We had the Mario movie, which for me was a perfect Mario movie. Everything that I wanted out of a Mario movie was there. So apparently people are learning how to create a game adaptation, which is great to see. And surprise, surprise, apparently one of the secrets is bringing in the people who were actually developing and producing the game, right? Here on the Fallout TV show, we have Todd Howard as an executive producer. Todd Howard from Bethesda, you guys all know him, right? And on The Last of Us, we had Neil Druckmann from Naughty Dog also producing the TV show. And it was a great show. So naturally, one of those secrets is to bring in the people who actually worked on the game because they understand the world, they understand the characters and the story and what makes that setting unique. So it's great to see this on the Fallout TV show. I watched the first season, it's all there on Amazon Prime. Go watch it if you have any appreciation for the series whatsoever. It is a great show. It is definitely a great show. One of the best game adaptations I've ever seen, if not the best, right? It's arguably the best adaptation. And I was thinking like, why do some shows or some films nail the essence of the source material? Could be a game, could be a book, anything, while others miss the target. And what difference is there? Why do some succeed while others fail? Like, for example, if we're talking about The Rings of Power, the TV show based on the Lord of the Rings franchise, right? It is by no means a bad show, but a lot of the essence, a lot of the elements that I would expect to see on a Lord of the Rings film or TV show was not quite there, at least for me. I've seen a lot of people with that same sentiment, so I know I'm not the only one. But that show, even though it was a good show, or still being a good show, I hope we get another season that is even better than the first one. But a lot of the elements that you expect from a Lord of the Rings show was not quite there. And I was thinking about that relating to Fallout as well. And I understood that all of that is related to world building. World building is composed of the elements, the unique elements that make up the identity of something. For example, Lord of the Rings, if you watch the original trilogy or if you read the books, you know that the dialogues in Lord of the Rings, they are like reciting a poem, right? They sound very romanticized. So there's a poetry to the dialogues and to the characters. And that was not so much present in the Rings of Power TV show in many scenes, throughout a lot of the episodes. I think that was lacking, and for me, one of the big misses of the show. But here on Fallout, everything connects better. Like, if we think about the way that the characters and the world reacts to things on the games, here in the show, the characters kind of behave in a way that you would expect from a game, from a Fallout game. And the world functions like a Fallout world would function because that's world building, right? When we are creating a game or a film or a book or whatever, we're actually creating another universe. It's a parallel reality. It's an alternative reality, right? And there are different rules. The world is not exactly like our own. It functions differently. It has some new ground rules. It has, people react differently to things, and the world functions differently. The establishment of this world is not like our own. And the world building is for you to think about the rules that govern this world, how things should look, how things should behave, how characters will grow and react to things. And you can see that on the Fallout universe, you have a lot of satire, dark humor, the harsh reality of a post-apocalyptic world. This retro-futuristic style, not only for the technology, but also for the characters, how they look, the outfits and stuff, all connects to create this identity that you recognize as Fallout or as Lord of the Rings or as The Last of Us or anything. So these elements make up the identity, and it is transferable from a book to a film to a game. So those same elements will not convert one-on-one between different media, but they will be recognizable. That's like you see a movie and you can say, oh, that's actually a good movie, but this is not a Lord of the Rings movie. This is not a Fallout movie. This is not a Resident Evil movie, right? Or something like that. It's because the production team did not transfer correctly the world building aspects. And that's why I want to talk about in this video today. Hey guys, it's Harry. I've been a game designer and producer for the past 10 years. And in this channel, I want to talk all about production, games, and all sorts of interesting stuff. So share some love, leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, share with your friends, whatever. Comment here on the comment section for other videos, other topics that you want me to cover, other games, other TV show adaptations, anything. And I'll try to address that in future videos. All right, I was watching Tim Kane's review for the Fallout show. It's great. Tim Kane is one of the original creators of Fallout. And he was talking about some very interesting points. Like he mentioned how the three main characters in the Fallout show, they kind of represent different characters that you could play on the game, right? Because Fallout's an RPG, so you can create different characters, you can play in different ways. And the three main characters, they kind of relate to that. They are like representations of characters that you could create yourself. They kind of represent different styles of play or different stereotypes that you could play in the game. So, and that's represented on the show very well, right? You have Lucy, the good one. I always like to play as the good guy many times in RPGs like that. And then you have the ghoul, which is almost like it's not the bad one, but this is one of the essence of the Fallout universe as well. This lack of clear morality, right? It's not good and bad. Everything is shades of gray. So you can clearly see that while playing any Fallout game, right? You see yourself having to make decisions that are very, very intricate and not black and white at all. So I think those characters, including the ghoul, including Max, they kind of represent that in a very, very interesting way. You can see them like, oh, they are doing bad things, but now they're doing good things. They are saying something that is neutral. I don't know. I cannot establish the morality in these characters. And that is awesome because for me, that's completely one of the essence points in any Fallout material, right? And that's present in the show, and it makes me very happy to see. And it is great. Like if you played let's say the newer Fallout games, like Fallout New Vegas, if we call that new, or Fallout 4 or 76, anything. And then you go back and play Fallout 1, you can see, and that's why for me it's a masterpiece. You can see how all of the essence points, all of that, all the world building stuff, it's already pretty much established in Fallout 1, right? And it's so interesting to see how that converted and was sustained across the other games. And even in this TV show, you can see a lot of the influence on the first Fallout, even on this TV show. So that tells you how what happens when you create a very, very solid world building, and narrative, and you sustain those aspects throughout an entire franchise. So I think that's something that Bethesda captured very well as well on the new Fallout games, on the Fallout games that Bethesda created, the most recent ones. And it's great to see that the series continue to be faithful to the original setting and the attributes that make Fallout Fallout. So if you are creating a game or other kinds of material, if you are creating a book or a short film or whatever, and you wanted to have this rich world, this believable world, you need to think thoroughly about world building and those points that make up the identity of your story and how that converts. You have to turn that into key pillars and words that you can use to refer back and forth to the story that you're creating and to the characters that you're creating, right? Once again, in the case of Fallout, we have the dark and satirical humor. You have the post-apocalyptic world that behaves in a certain way. You have this lack of clear morality. This is very big in Fallout. This retrofuturistic style that is not only in the technology, how things look, but also how the technology behaves. It's a mindset. It's not that the technology is old. The technology is very advanced, but it's very analog. Things are not digital, and it's not that kind of technology. It's like the technology took a detour from our current understanding and it developed in a different way, in an interesting way, right? So that is the alternate reality that you create when you create a new world and you have all of this world building aspects in the middle of it. So if you want to create this believable world in everything that you're doing, anything that you're doing, you need to write a lot, right? Fallout 1 had this 100-page manual accompanying the game. And yeah, that was a thing back in the day, right? 1997. And then you had to read the manual, not only for the tutorial of the game itself, to learn how to play the game, but also to learn the main aspects of the setting and of the characters and how things developed and what happened in that world. So that manual was supposed to immerse you in that world. Nowadays, of course, we don't work like that. We don't have 100-page manuals going on with the games anymore. However, if you want to create this believable world, you have to write a lot. You have to write more narrative and backstory and a lot more than you actually show in your game. So that's a very good rule for you to have. So it creates this sense of richness that you have more than you are actually showing. You have more on the backlog than you are actually showing. And that creates that sense of, oh, this world is very rich and I have more to see. I have more to explore. Even if you don't work on a sequence for your game or your movie or whatever, you creating that sense of there's more stuff to show creates this believability and density of the world, this depth of the world. All right, so I'm very excited on what comes next, not only for the Fallout TV show, but other shows and movies and stuff that comes from game adaptations, right? Because people are apparently and gladly they are learning how to make it better. So I'm very happy to see that and excited for more. So what do you guys expect? Like, what games would you love to see adapted to the television? And, maybe we can wait for that. I would love to see some Metal Gear. I've seen some rumors about Metal Gear stuff, maybe a show, maybe a film. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Leave in the comments below and leave a like on this video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And yeah, see you guys next time.